Hello, I'm John Ricco with Partners in Association Management, and welcome to another edition of Association Peeps in Cubicles Drinking Coffee. This is our video blog where we talk about a variety of topics of interest to the association community. And today my guest here is Beth Ziesenis. Hey Beth, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Beth Z. Don't worry about the last name. He almost got it right, guys.
No.
It's true. It's true.
What is it? How do you pronounce it?
Ziesenis.
Ziesenis.
Kind of like you're sneezing. Ziesenis.
Okay, very good.
I'm Beth Z. I'm your nerdy best friend. I go around the country talking about different apps and tech tools, and I write books, and I nerd for a living. That's pretty much me.
Nerd for a living. So
Yeah.
you've made nerd a verb.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
So you've got
excellent. Nerd button. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, let's get to our coffee of the day. We are drinking Seattle's best coffee. This is their Post Alley blend, which is smoky and intense. So it's pretty good. I've never had it before. So
Let me first thank John and everybody there. Can y'all see this? It says, "Come to the nerd side, we have pie." Now, bless his heart, he didn't have pie for me, but holy crap, this was a gift from them, and I am so excited, and I thank you very much. Thank you very much.
oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Okay, so Beth, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, and I know it's a problem for a lot of people, is email. And I know in my old job, I wouldn't leave the office until at the end of the day I could see the bottom of my list of my email, so I would only have 20 or 30 in there. And those days have long gone by, and some days there's 400, 500, 600 emails sitting there in the box. Do you have any suggestions for the folks out there how they can help better manage that aspect of their technological lives?
So I've got good news and bad news in this area. The good news is that there are definitely tech tools out there that are helping this area.
Mm-hmm.
They're using artificial intelligence actually to read our emails
Mm-hmm.
and help us to triage them and put them in the places they should go.
Mm-hmm.
They're also helping us to identify spam and scam and unwanted emails, just things that are clogging up our inbox and doing things there. And I'll talk about that technology if you want me to, but I've got to get to the bad news.
Okay, what's the bad news?
The bad news is none of these tools work unless you work them and set them up. And so often we get caught up in the day-to-day of the emails that we don't set them up. And even when we do set them up, it's still a pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ever going to be completely easy. We've got situations where with Gmail, it's writing it for you. It's coming up with the text based on artificial intelligence for you to just kind of fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not helping very much if, number one, we don't make use of that, and number two, we're still not taking the time to get through them because we're still going to have the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in another category of things that are happening are these instant message type apps
Mm-hmm.
and systems. Microsoft just kind of launched its Teams version, and Microsoft Teams may replace Slack, which has been kind of a huge piece in there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically all these things is internal chat tools that let you talk kind of cubicle to cubicle.
Right.
Coffee, cubicle, get it? Cubicle to cubicle, so that those internal emails cut down, but you get a lot of notifications and things there. But Microsoft Teams was having it only be for upper level people, but now they just opened it up for free for everybody.
Okay.
That's already integrated into the tools we almost all use every day.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really well placed to kind of sweep Slack out. Plus they can integrate more with Outlook and manage that whole email problem with you, rather than having different systems manage different parts and address different things.
Okay. So if I hear you, it sounds like there's some help on the way, but what people really need to do is take advantage of the software that's out there. I mean, I know we all don't do with rules and things like that. That's already built into Office or whatever your platform is, and most of us just read, delete, send, and maybe file stuff, but don't take advantage of some of the tools that are already baked in that can help manage and help us be more efficient with our email.
the best thing that has ever happened to us as professionals is that we can get email on our phone. The worst thing that has ever happened to us as professionals is that we can get email on our phone. And there was a study in 2018 by Adobe. And they asked people to talk about how much time outside of work they were spending in email or with work. Anyway, they're spending 3.1 hours a day. We are spending 3.1 hours a day mired in business email. We're checking them first thing in the morning. We're checking them before we go to bed. And we have to make use of the kind of tools, some of them simple, some of them complicated and more enterprise level, that will help us wade through those. But we also, no matter what happens, have to be more disciplined about how we apply them and the fact that we have to get through them.
Right, so we have to govern ourselves. All right, Beth, another question that I wanted to ask you is, I know there's probably a lot of people out there like me that see a new app and get all excited about it, and you go out quickly and you go to Google Play or the Apple Store and you buy the app and you download it and you start playing with it, and either one of two things happens. You mess around with it for a minute or two and you go, oh, this isn't all it's cracked up to be, or you go to use a feature that you really, that's the main reason you got the app in the first place, and then it's like, oh, pay $4.99 or $9.99 or whatever it is to get the full version of the app, and you're like, oh, forget it, immediate delete, or that, delete it from your phone. Do you have any tips or suggestions for the impatient among us who, maybe don't really give these apps, the full benefit of exploration, or just a little impatient? Do you see a lot of that? I guess first off, are you an example?
Oh, Jiminy Christmas! I don't even know how many apps I have on my phone. Especially, I'm writing a new book, and I go through like 4,000 apps to find 500 or 600 that I showcase. So I check them out all the time. My app budget is way too high because I don't have a budget. So here's a couple of things. Number one, seeing something that does neat things and then trying to find problems of yours to apply to that can sometimes work against you, right? To me, it's better if, for other people, not for me, because I try out everything no matter what, but if you come up with a problem that you have and then seek solutions to it with research. The impulse buys can sometimes lead to really cool stuff. And like, oh my gosh, I heard about this, and oh my gosh, I'm going to try it, and oh my gosh, it works immediately. And sometimes that works, but if you have some really big challenges, for example, workplace communications or collaboration, when you're all working together on a project, or you're doing this wonderful series, how do you bring it from beginning to end, all the tasks that everybody has to do? Well, looking for a solution, that's a problem. It might not be for you guys, but having that multi-step process with multiple people involved. So instead of doing an impulse buy with that one, you can step back and say, okay, what are we looking for? And then read and do the research and try things out. There's always a starting point, and that could be that impulse buy that you have, and for some people, the things I talk about are their starting point. But I don't want that to be your ending point, because if you have one thing, you're going to have 6 different competitors if it's a successful thing. So look at that one thing and then compare the features of the 6 different competitors so that you can figure out the right one. Because chances are, if you had an impulse buy, it has a feature, it has something that you need and want. But they're finding the competitors, if that one doesn't appeal to you immediately.
All right, so a funny thing happened in the middle of recording. My memory space was full on my phone, so it just cut out recording. So we're improvising, adapting, and overcoming, and we've switched phones, and so now we're using Beth's phone to wrap this thing up. I guess you just roll with it, right?
Hashtag technology, it happens all the time.
So where we left off is I was asking Beth a question that most of the folks who watch this are association professionals, and if she had any apps or technology suggestions that might be beneficial to the association community at large.
So I'm going to give you an oldie but a goodie. It's been around for several years, but that's kind of why I want to tell you about it. It's funny because I'm writing the bigger book of apps after the big book of apps, and I wrote the big book of apps about 2.5 years ago, and only 10% of the ones that I covered have disappeared.
Oh, so most are still out there. Wow.
Yeah, over 450 apps, only 10% disappeared. So that's why I choose things that stick around. So the one I want to tell you guys about the most, and I can't believe people aren't using this, is TripIt. TRIPIT, TripIt. And what TripIt does, have you ever get off the plane and you go to get your Uber or whatever, and it says, where are you going? And you're like, I have no idea, because you have sent yourself the confirmation or you printed it out or what have you, and you're scrambling for all these plans. Well, TripIt, you just forward all the plans, or even it'll look in your inbox for you and get them to plans@tripit.com, and it organizes them, all of them in the same place. So I'm coming here, I had this appointment with you, I have a keynote tomorrow, I flew here, and I have a hotel reservation. All of those things were separate entities. But because of TripIt, a lot of the things were put together in the same list, and then we added appointments, so that now I'm just on my phone, I'm flipping card after card with every single thing I need to do, and I can see my schedule at a glance.
So it pulls it almost like an itinerary for you? Is that
100% itinerary, but it organizes, you made your hotel reservation 2 weeks ago, you booked your flight a month ago, but it'll bring those together on the same piece.
Awesome.
And so it's free for the basic version, or $49 a year for the deluxe one. And the deluxe one, it does a lot of things, but it watches prices. And it only really works on Southwest because they don't charge change fees. But with the prices, it'll tell you when the price drops for that trip, and you can write to the company and get money back. I've gotten more money back in credits than I ever spent on the app.
Cha-ching. Pays for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, that's a great one. Any other ones you think people ought to take a look at?
One of the things, it's more of a strategy than a specific app. On your phone, it comes with certain things. It comes with a calendar. It comes with an email. It comes with a messenger. Think about the enhanced capabilities of third-party apps in those areas. So, for example, you've got an email app on Apple. It's pretty basic. But if you bring in a different email app or a different calendar app, it'll give you added functionality that you didn't even know you were missing when you're checking different things. Like some of it, like the Microsoft Outlook app is fantastic. It'll pull in your calendar and all kinds of things so that you're not switching back and forth. And earlier you and I were talking about messaging apps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that triggered a thought in that I have a third-party messaging app and not the stock one that comes with my Android phone, because I like to, oftentimes I'll get an idea or a thought at a random time, and the stock messaging app doesn't allow you to delay delivery or schedule a message. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you think of something and want to send it to somebody, and obviously you don't want to ping somebody at 2 or 3 in the morning, you can type up the text real quick and then schedule it to go at 7 a.m. or some more reasonable time.
And you have taught me something, because just the other day I was trying to make a hair appointment and I had to text my person because I kept forgetting, and I texted her at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So I'm going to use your thing.
She's loving you for that, huh?
Yeah, no.
Well, very good. Well, this has been an awesome conversation, Beth. I thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you joining us and watching this episode of Association Peeps in Cubicles, actually in this instance in hotel rooms drinking coffee. And we look forward to you guys joining us on a future episode. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye. We're out.